there needs
What
to
are
be.
you guys talking about?
We're talking about how to swat a
Oh
fake
God.
natty.
Oh God. Oh God.
What's up, everyone? It's Russo. Hope everyone is doing well. Here with Kenny KO, the ultimate fake natty call out. Now, Kenny, we both started around, what, 2017? 2017 for the video. How has calling out fake natties changed in 2022?
Pretty much the fake natties back in the day remain fake natties. So we got like Michael Hearn, Simeon Banda, probably Jeff Side still. Christian Guzman admitted to it today. Although I don't know if he ever like really talked about it, but he actually said that he's not natural. But a lot more people are actually open about it now, which is actually pretty dope to see. Because I think it's just maybe because of you and your content, more plates, more dates. Tony.
Well, what's it like being that like scapegoat of like, you were the dude that like everyone, like you were acting through everyone of like, why can't some dude call this out? To where you got, again, I don't know how many defamation lawsuits, but now the tides have turned to where it seems like it's harder for you to find a person to expose. Like you've like cleaned out the industry per se. How do you think testosterone replacement therapy has impacted like the acceptable level of like, hey, we're not natural here. No one is really natural here. It's very obvious.
Right. Dude, I feel like TRT is the new natural now. You know, like everyone who's like supposed to be natural, they're like, oh, I'm on TRT, but I'm natural. Or they'll be, or I'll be interviewing them, and I'm like, are you natural or not? They're like, yeah, I'm natural. I'm like, oh, you've never taken like TRT or anything? They're like, no, I'm on TRT. I'm like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people consider that a cycle, even though it's not a cycle. I do want to clear the air. Everyone thinks that like if you're on TRT, you're on like a gram of tren, and you're gonna like blow up, and it's gonna be this crazy cycle. It's literally testosterone replacement therapy. You're just supposed to feel like normal and a healthy, like optimal range.
I really like that you've been highlighting like normal gym guys, showing that like you don't need to look insane to be on gear. Like again, no hate towards the guys you've interviewed, but some of them you wouldn't know per se if they were natural or not. Like it's not like, you know, you see that super juiced up dude looking over there, you're like, oh, that guy's not natural. But really everyone in the gym has played around with PEDs, including ourselves, obviously.
And I mean, Russo knows too, and he talks about it all the time, but yeah, you guys will notice on my videos, and probably even a lot of his videos, dudes that are on like crazy cycles don't look that crazy, and it's usually because genetics are like going to be the biggest thing on like how well people respond to the androgens and everything, and then also a lot of people are getting bunk gear and they think they're on tren and test and Winstrol and Anabar, and then they're like not even on anything pretty much, or like severely underdosed. So, and that's why I kind of wanted to show both. And a lot of people are like, dude, of course that guy's gonna be natty, but it's actually like way more unnatty than an IFBB pro.
Right.
But he's just getting a lot of fake and bunk gear, or his genetics are just that shitty.
So what's Kenny's go-to telltale signs of a person that's probably not natural? How does Kenny go about, oh, that guy's natural, that guy's not natural?
Dude, we could probably point him out. You're probably as good at it as I am, to be honest.
I want to hear your
checklist. Because I feel like once someone does a cycle and they kind of know how you feel and how you look, and like, it's really hard to describe, but you know like the look of a muscle, like that's enhanced versus not. Like, not enhanced just has such a softer look, and then like the guys that are on cycle and especially competing, they have like a really grainy, tons of fullness, their traps are insane, vascularity, like just like paper thin skin, and I feel like once you do cycles, you'll know who's on and who's not. So it's really hard to describe other than the ones I just listed. I'm sure Russo could like spot out just as many as me, like pretty like concrete, like accuracy.
I think you're right, like once you have the eye and you've been on gear, like you can't be fooled. Like you're awakened on like now that you're like, all right, I'm being duped. But honestly, it's crazy to see how your career has panned out, because like everyone was against you and now you're riding the wave to the top per se, because you never back down from like not calling out bullshit.
I think there needs
What
to
are
be.
you guys talking about?
We're talking about how to swat a
Oh
fake
God.
natty.
Oh God. Oh God. What's up, guys?
This is the ultimate fake natty exposer right here.
So just
100 million man.
one down, 20 million to go. Right?
There's a lot of them.
I know. You've been doing a much better job at it than I was.
It's hard, dude. There's ones popping up left and right. It's like I take one down and another one pops up, or two pop up.
20 find a replacement, right?
It's like Hercules in that like fucking in that movie when he like cuts one head off and then two sprout out. I feel like I take one down or you take down Liver King.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like
know.
two more emerge.
I know.
What was it like for you, like, again, being caught in that crosshair of, like, you were going to aid a dude to extort, like, literally internationally, what the biggest...
Extort or expose?
Expose. Well,
yeah.
extort, like, his audience. Like, they're all duped into,
So
like...
I've been sitting on that information for 1.5 years, and I was really conflicted. In the beginning, I didn't mind, but the lies just got worse and worse and worse. And at one point, he started shitting on our industry. And after 2 or 3 years of trying to improve the fitness industry from a health perspective, I just couldn't stand for it anymore. So I had a long talk with Derek, and he had more evidence, way more than he was able to publish. And then I gave him permission to release it in a redacted form. Now, you guys are smart. Yeah, you guys know exactly the time differences and the MRIs, and some people piece
I
it
went to
together.
the email thing.
Yeah,
and you're like, you always like, even though I've never posed in my life, you like need the mandatory poses. So Liver King
Right.
having to do the mandatory poses, that dude's never like wanted.
I
it's
don't
like
think
a
so.
beat ever.
So people piece it together real fast.
I wonder if that was always in the back of his head about like.
Honestly, now that I think about it, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, why would one of his coworkers send all this information to Liver King later on? He sent Derek an email. Yeah, you can say that I want this to be confidential, but there's non-disclosure agreements for that.
Right.
Trust me, I've signed many in my consultation days, in my consulting days, and it's pages long, and it requires a signature, and it requires a copy of your passport. And if that's not being requested in the beginning of, you know, getting into a relationship or giving all this information already about your drug use, then
For me, it was like the Logan Paul podcast with Liver King when he's like, it's stupid to track biomarkers. Like, he literally blatantly said, and I'll have Andrew play the clip, like,
This cracks me up when people are like, let me look at your cholesterol, right? It's how the fuck do you feel, right? If you got a fucking kicking ass libido and you're kicking ass in fucking life, you give a fuck what your cholesterol is? I don't do any blood testing. I don't know what my cholesterol is. And I don't ask people to do it. I don't believe in that shit unless you think you might have a problem. Whatever, fine. Go do whatever blood testing you want to do.
it's dumb to track biomarkers. Like, I'm ancestral, I don't need to track blood work. He's coming after you, the top guru, for, oh, my IGF, I'm taking all these peptides. It's like, then he goes around and says, like, it's stupid to track health.
what was funny is that he called me a clown coach, but he was the one that contacted me. So why would you contact a clown coach
Right.
if you need help with your shit? Well, anyway, let's not make any worse.
Especially a YouTuber coach.
Yeah.
Do you think if Derek answered him, like, this all would have played out differently? Because Derek just didn't find that email.
Oh, probably, yeah, he probably would have contacted me, but Derek doesn't coach. He doesn't have time for that, you know? So Derek would have never accepted him as a client, and God who knows who works with him now, you know? There's plenty of underground coaches out there who would help beat the drug test. And
Just because you're here. Sorry, I don't want to.
all right, now the difficult questions.
So, Vigorous Steve, slayer of the infamous Liver King.
Yes.
Has Michael Hearn ever sent you an email?
No comment.
Unless there's an NDA that has been signed.
Exactly.
But I guess you can answer this question then. Do you think he is natural or not?
No, of course not. Of course not. Honestly, guys, I've met people from Venice Gym that have been around there for 30 years, and they've told me stuff. Are they tasty? Do you use them for eggnog? Yeah, maybe for eggnog it would be okay, but
$700 eggnog.
yeah, it would be a very nice thing. Christmas, right? You know, honestly, these bad actors just keep popping up. You take one down, and like you said, 20 more will show up. So it's part of the fitness industry. But the difference between Michael Hearn and the Liver King is that Michael Hearn is actually in the fitness industry and doesn't shit on us. Okay, maybe once in a while. You know, once in a while, but it's not to the point that plus with the information I have or don't have on Michael Hearn, I can't expose. Maybe you can.
You know, at least Michael Hearn showers.